back to The Current, the quick response news program from JCTIC College.
Where we report on the latest issues, events, and culture. I'm Asher.
And I'm Joanne. Today, we're tackling a very serious issue that's been making headlines: space oil.
That's right. Just last month, a shocking video went viral showing a 13-year-old girl stumbling out of an MTR train in Kinshui after vaping space oil. She was visibly disoriented and had to hold on to whatever she could for balance.
Whoa, that girl was messed up.
Totally. She was later arrested by police for possession of space oil, which she reportedly bought online for just 250 Hong Kong dollars.
This incident has sparked widespread concern about how easily teenagers can access this dangerous drug and the growing trend of its use among young people.
But what exactly is space oil, and why is it becoming so popular?
Here's a brief video about exactly that. Take a look.
So exhausted from work.
It's time to chill a bit.
What is this?
It takes you to outer space and relaxes you.
Vaping space oil drug is never just for fun. Etomidate has been listed as a dangerous drug. Those who ask you to vape it only want to harm you. Anyone involved in drug-related crimes are liable for life imprisonment. It is addictive and can be lethal. Don't follow the space oil drug traps. Let's stand firm, knock drugs out.
Very interesting. To understand more about the science behind space oil, we spoke to one of our school's chemistry teachers, Mr. Wong.
Over to you, Hayton.
Hi, Mr. Wong. Thanks for talking to us.
No problem, my pleasure.
What is the main chemical in space oil, and how is it used in medical settings?
The main chemical in space oil is etomidate. It's actually a drug that doctors use during surgeries. It works by depressing the central nervous system, which puts patients into a relaxed or unconscious state.
How does etomidate, the main ingredient, affect the human body when abused?
When people use etomidate, they may feel a euphoric high. Basically, it helps them to feel like they are escaping reality. This happens because the drug suppresses brain activity, especially in areas responsible for stress and anxiety. But abusing it can be really dangerous.
How?
Well, first, it can mess with your memory, decision-making, and overall brain function. Second, it can disrupt normal nerve signals, causing involuntary movements, jerking limbs and such. Finally, and worst of all, it is highly addictive. Once they experience the sense of escape, of not feeling stressed, people want to chase the feeling again and again, which leads to psychological dependence.
Are there any other chemicals in space oil that make it more dangerous?
Yes, of course. Space oil is often mixed with solvents, like propylene glycerol and glycerin, to make it suitable for vaping. But when these chemicals are inhaled, they can harm your respiratory system. And because space oil is made illegally, there is no quality control. It could be mixed with unknown contaminants or even other drugs which might be toxic. This makes space oil extremely unpredictable and dangerous. You never really know what you are putting into your body.
How is space oil made, and why is it so easy to produce?
We won't go into the exact details of how it's made. But space oil is relatively easy to produce. It involves simple chemical processes and materials that are easy to get. The process usually includes extracting or synthesizing etomidate, mixing it with solvents, and adding flavoring to make it suitable for vaping.
What makes space oil so addictive compared to other drugs?
Here is the problem. The drugs only last for a few minutes. This makes people want to do it again right away. And then they get into this cycle and they just can't stop. It is an escape that they get addicted to. And it's just so cheap and easy to make.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hayton and Mr. Wong. Space oil is easy to make, and you never know what you'll get. Got it.
And it's not just the chemicals that might get you, but also the police. Just last month, two teenagers, aged 15 and 17, were arrested during a raid. Police seized several vials of space oil and other drug-related supplies.
Under Hong Kong's Dangerous Drugs Ordinance, possession of space oil can lead up to 7 years in prison and a Hong Kong $1 million fine.
And for trafficking, the penalties are even harsher: life imprisonment and a Hong Kong $5 million fine.
Whoa, this crackdown was part of a larger effort to address the growing problem of drug use among young people in Hong Kong.
To understand the social and emotional factors behind space oil use, we spoke to one of our school social workers.
Let's go again to Hayton for that interview.
Hi, Ms. Fong. Thank you for talking to us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Why do you think some teenagers are turning to space oil?
That's a great question. Teenagers today face a lot of stress, and for some, space oil seems like an escape. When they use it, it creates a sensation of floating or flying, giving them a temporary break from reality and their struggles. Another big factor is how easy it is to get compared to traditional drugs. Sellers use Instagram or Telegram or other platforms to deliver it directly to the teens, making it super accessible. Plus, space oil comes in very colorful packaging, also different flavors, and it is really easy to carry around, which makes it really appealing to young people. Also, it is not crazy expensive. A simple fake cartridge costs around $200 to $300. That makes it affordable for teens to share with friends, which only adds to the problem.
How does peer pressure play a role?
Peer pressure is huge. Teens want to fit in, and even they know that something's wrong, they might still feel pushed to go along with it. Saying no can feel awkward and might risk damaging friendships, which is really tough at this age. Imagine this. When using space oil becomes a trend in a friend group, the ease of sharing, like passing around for you take a bath, I take a bath, makes it super tempting for young people to try.
What are the warning signs that a student might be using space oil?
There are some clear signs to watch for. Physically, they may shake, feel dizzy, or have trouble standing. You might also notice mood swings, like sudden irritability, or even see them pass out. In more serious cases, they can have memory gaps, trouble breathing, or even hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't real. Behaviorally, look for sudden changes, like grades dropping, mood swings, or acting more secretive than usual. But it's important not to jump to conclusions. The best approach is to have an open, non-judgmental conversation to understand what's really going on.
What can schools and families do to prevent drug use?
Teamwork is key. Schools can make a big difference by teaching teens about the risks and giving them tools to handle peer pressure. At home, families should focus on keeping communication open and supportive, making sure teens feel safe to share what's on their mind. Both schools and families can encourage teens to get involved in healthy hobbies or activities that can build confidence and resilience. Another important thing is to build strong and positive relationships, whether it's with friends or families. When teens feel connected and supported, they're much less likely to turn to things like space oil. And don't forget, there are so many better ways to deal with stress, whether it's playing sports, getting creative with arts, or just talking to someone they trust. Teens need to know they have options. Finally, it's really helpful if parents and educators learn the signs of space oil use. Spotting the warning signs early means they can step in and offer the right kind of support.
What advice will you give to students who are feeling stressed or pressure to take drugs?
First, know you're not alone. Talk to someone you trust. A friend, parent, teacher, or social worker. Find healthy ways to cope, like sports, art, or just spending time with positive people. And remember, it's okay to say no. Real friends will respect your choices. Make choices that help you grow, not ones you'll regret later.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hope it helps.
Thank you, Ms. Feng. It's clear that space oil is more than just a drug problem. It's a symptom of deeper issues, like stress, anxiety, and the pressures of modern life.
Exactly. While the government's crackdown is important, we also need to address the root causes of drug use. That means providing better mental health support and creating safe spaces for young people to talk about their struggles.
And it's not just up to the government. Schools, parents, and even students themselves have a role to play. We need to look out for each other and speak up if we see someone who might be struggling.
So, what can students do to stay safe and help others?
First, educate yourself about the dangers of drugs like space oil. Knowledge is power.
Second, if you or someone you know is struggling, don't be afraid to reach out for help. There are resources available, from school counselors to hotlines.
And finally, remember that there are healthier ways to cope with stress and anxiety. Whether it's talking to a friend, exercising,
or pursuing a hobby, there are always better options than turning to drugs.
At the end of the day, space oil is a dangerous trend that we all need to take seriously. By staying informed and supporting each other,
and making smart choices, we can help stop its spread.
That's all for this episode of The Current.
See you next time.